Hello everyone, I'm Paradigm Gamer, and I want to talk about the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. The Super Nintendo is, in my opinion anyway, the greatest video game console of all time. It features a killer library of both first and third-party games. It introduced the 4-button diamond and shoulder button configuration that is still used on controllers to this very day. It made save features more common, arguably facilitating the transition from passwords to memory cards. But what I really want to talk about is the music. I love Super Nintendo music. While it might not seem like a huge deal, the Super NES was the first video game console to feature music that sounded less like beeps and blips, and more like actual music played on actual instruments. While older systems like the Nintendo, the Genesis, and the TurboGrafx-16 had really strong catchy melodies, they lacked instrumental variety and a strong sense of ambience. Two other elements that are critical to a balanced piece of video game music. The Super Nintendo was the first video game system to consistently balance all three of these elements to create tracks that were atmospheric, varied in genre and style, while still having a catchy beat to give it staying power. That's why I've decided to compile and share my own personal top 10, along with some brief commentary explaining my rationale. For the sake of acknowledging as much work as possible, I need to establish a couple of ground rules. Firstly, I'm only going to rank one song per franchise. As much as I'd love to make the entire list from Donkey Kong Country 2 or Super Castlevania 4, that would ignore a lot of other fantastic songs that are also worth mentioning. Secondly, I'm only ranking songs I've heard before, so if there's something you felt was conspicuously missing, that's probably why. But let's beat around the bush no longer. These are my top 10 favorite songs on the Super Nintendo. Number 10. Meridia Depths. Meridia Depths pairs pitch-perfect ambience with a depressingly simple melody, giving Meridia a great balance of atmosphere and emotion. Some find the Super Nintendo sound font to be a tad echoey, but in this track it really adds to the sense of environment you'd expect a setting like this to have. A great example of how to balance atmosphere with melody. Number 9. Athletic theme. This fast-paced ragtime beat is simultaneously relaxing and heart-pumping. While I personally find the instrumentation and the rest of Yoshi's Island to sound a bit muffled, I think it works really well for this particular track due to the old-timey genre the song is embodying. A fun-filled track that will always get my head bopping. Kobe Steel Mill. Stage 3 of Contra 3 Alien Wars is where the shit really starts to hit the fan. You got stuff flying around all over the place, a giant killer robot, a hangar filled with enemies, 2 more killer robots, and another gigantic killer robot. And the stage BGM makes absolutely no secret out of it. Welcome to hell. While most video game songs usually have a simple melody that repeats ad nauseum, Kobe Steel Mill juggles around a few different melodies in a manner similar to an action movie score, giving the song and the level a very dynamic feel. A very fun track from a very fun game. Number 7. Weapons Factory. Weapons Factory combines simple and slow-paced winds with gritty percussion to create a track that presents a great sense of hostility and finality. Instead of using traditional percussion like drums, the composer simply allows the ethereal sound of clanging machinery to lead the pace. The winds also give the track a very desolate and empty feeling. Another great example of how to balance atmosphere with melody. Number 6. Tower, or Boomer Kuwanger's theme. Boomer Kuwanger's level theme is a very unique track. A techno piece with multiple and varied layers of powerful percussion. The jazzy winds balance the very emotions of hope, aspiration, and fear of failure. Though the levels seemed to drag a little, I was too busy bopping my head to the song to give a shit. Boomer Kuwanger's theme just kicks all kinds of ass. Number 5. Dance of the Holy Man, or Simon Belmont's theme. Yeah, you all saw this one coming. Dance of the Holy Man combines creepy organ synth, confident winds, and an echoey bass to create a track that is both haunting and exultant. It does a great job setting the stage in the first level, and when this tune is blaring and you're laying the finishing blow on Dracula, you're just on top of the world. I love this song. Number 4. Professor Hanger. Professor Hanger may be a strange boss with a strange name, but there's nothing strange about the quality of this track. Featuring some kick-ass metal strings, pumping bass, and in-your-face percussion, Professor Hanger's boss theme really puts you in the mood to shoot some shit up. So far I've used mostly holistic standards to defend my choices, but Professor Hanger is a different beast. This song kicks ass, and that's all there is to it. Number 3. Revenge of Meta Knight ending. Getting into the top 3 now. While most of the rest of the songs on this list have been fast-paced or in your face, the Revenge of Meta Knight ending goes for something a little more subtle instead. Featuring a savvy Latin beat, this track combines slow-paced instrumentation with a sad melody to create a real sense of accomplishment, yet a depressing sense of finality. The sound quality is also fantastic, pushing the instrumentation of the Super Nintendo to its limits. Sometimes slow songs can be just as powerful as fast ones. A great song from a great game. Number 2. Terra's theme. Where do I begin? Terra's theme is just mythically gorgeous. In addition to featuring instrumentation that sounds almost like a real orchestra, this track contains a great sense of mystery and genuine awe, which is very fitting for the character it represents. The elegant winds section and the marching percussion juxtaposed to symbolize Final Fantasy VI's conflict between magic and technology, a truly epic piece that literally builds worlds. And my number one favorite Super Nintendo song is... Sticker Brush Symphony. Sticker Brush Symphony is a widely acclaimed track from Donkey Kong Country 2, and for good reason. This track has it all. High quality instrumentation, magical winds, sweeping bass, a great sense of strong emotion, and it fits perfectly with the skylofted brambles that clutter the screen along its side. I could think of no song that better deserves the honor of my number one favorite Super Nintendo song. It's a shame that more recent video game soundtracks tend to lack this balance of melody, atmosphere, and instrumentation that the Super Nintendo was regularly able to achieve. Sure, a couple of soundtracks, such as Stuart Copeland's work in the Spyro the Dragon series, and Jun Sanu's involvement in the Sonic the Hedgehog series, have been able to capture this magical equilibrium since the SNES was discontinued in 1996. But these soundtracks are more the exception than the rule, especially nowadays. For the most part, modern soundtracks tend to side with the atmospheric element usually accompanied by exclusively orchestral instruments. Just listen to music from Assassin's Creed or Halo. Though they work well as atmospheric backgrounds for the game, and even bring a nice cinematic feel to the content they represent, I can maybe remember one or two songs from either series. The Halo battle theme, for example, and the song that plays when you get chased by guards in Brotherhood. It's funny to think that over the years, we've shifted from exclusive focus on melody to a greater emphasis on atmosphere. This contemporary emphasis on environment may be what is turning so many old school gamers off from modern game music. I suppose in the end, it's all about your tastes and preferences. Do you prefer a catchy beat that pumps you up and gets you in the mood? Or do you prefer an atmospheric theme that puts you in the moment and location of what you're seeing on screen? Regardless of which side you're on, and your opinions on retro or modern game music, I think we can all agree that video game music is an awesome and underrated genre of music that really deserves more attention and credit than it gets. Before I wrap up, which video game music element do you prefer? Melody or atmosphere? Which console do you think provides the best library of video game music, and why? Tell me in the comments below. Until next time, I'm Paradigm Gamer, and I hope you enjoyed the video.